Okay, folks, this is our intro to Photoshop. Uh, let's go over a few key items of Photoshop before we actually jump into learning the interface and the various tools of Photoshop. What is Photoshop? Photoshop is a graphics editing program that manipulates raster graphics. Okay, now raster graphics is basically a bunch of pixels that form images. Okay, raster graphics is different than vector graphics, and vector graphics is a mathematical based type of graphic system that we will cover once we jump into the next project next month, which is Illustrator. Okay, so for now, we're just dealing with raster graphics. Raster graphics are more practical use of photo or photorealistic images, and vector graphics are mainly used for fonts, type, um, logos, and graphic design. Here's a graphical representation of raster versus vector. On the left side here, we have raster graphics. So if you look at the VW logo, uh, now that is a raster graphic. You can't really tell because of its size, but once you start to zoom in, if you take a look at the bottom here on the left, raster art at 400% magnification, you can see the jagged edges on the edge of the V here. Now, if you take a look at the vector art, which is the same artwork, but instead of raster, it's vector, at 400%, the lines are sharp. Okay. Same here with the label for the soda pop. 7 times magnification. With the vector graphic, you're going to get nice sharp text and lines. With a bitmap, which is a raster graphic, you're going to get a blurry image. So that's why sometimes when you download images from the internet or your cell phone and you blow them up, they become a little bit blurry. That's because a bunch of pixels are forming those lines together. And the larger the megapixel, the more pixels you have to make a sharper line. The less megapixels you have, the blurrier it's going to be. Okay? And you folks will get a chance to see this relationship between resolution, which is how many pixels there are, and how sharp or blurry an image is once we start getting more into the images that we get for our Photoshop project. Okay, so keep that in mind as we move on into learning the interface of Photoshop, which will be our next video. Okay.